What's happening? Thanks for joining me today. My name is Andy, and so I've been doing this series on Weirdflation, and some stuff came up yesterday that I just thought that'd be a real good thing to make a video about, because the serious issue of like, well, I call it Weirdflation, but just kind of prices going up, sizes going down, food made out of slop, the internet asking for more and more weird things, and this is actually going to be about X-Plane, which is it's my flight simulator of choice. I really enjoy flying on it. I know a lot of people like Microsoft, you know, that is, I despise Microsoft, but I do admit their flight simulator is probably about the best one out there, especially the latest version. The scenery on that is just to die for, from some of the reviews I've seen. But I like X-Plane, and I'll explain why I like X-Plane, or why I used to like it, and I like the version I've got now, which is version 11 that came out in 2020. And it's great, you know. I downloaded it, and it kind of put itself into its own X-Plane file. This is a MacBook Air, an very old MacBook Air that I'm using on it, and just about handle it, you know. And great, connected to my joystick and everything. It took all of kind of 2 minutes to connect all the controls up, and it's wonderful, you know. It really is working very well indeed. But when I was trying to download this is what happened. X-Plane were trying to sell me X-Plane 12, the latest one. Two problems with that. It's quite an old computer. I don't know if it would work on it. It might work on it. Do let me know in the comments if you think that's going to work on sort of about a 6-7-year-old MacBook Air. I'd be very interested to know. But at the moment, I'm very happy with X-Plane 11, particularly because all the time I was trying to download it, X-Plane kept taking me to another page, and I think I was working on X-Plane 11, and I look up, and no, they'd shoved me onto the X-Plane 12 page. And the other reason why I don't want X-Plane 12 is I've got quite an unreliable internet connection. It causes me quite a lot of trouble, things suddenly dropping out, and then I have to drive up to a phone mast up the road. At the moment, I have to drive about 20 miles into town to a phone mast to upload anything or to talk to anyone, because I'm right out in the countryside here. And it looked like it was going to take something like 17 hours to download, and that was if the internet didn't actually drop out. I mean, it's because my connection's slow. That's not X-Plane's fault. But also, I looked into X-Plane 12 a little bit, just because it was there on the screen, and I noticed that wasn't going to install itself into an X-Plane file. That was going to install itself into my user directory. Might mean nothing, but I couldn't help wondering, is X-Plane going to get access to all my personal stuff if I let it go into that directory? I don't really know. I really don't. But it's just part of the weirdness that's going on, really, because it seems to me like they're fishing to get as much information as they can to sell, and it's happening everywhere. I've got this watch, right? It's not a real Apple Watch, you can probably tell. It's I can't remember, but the app it comes with is Glory Fit, and a lot of these cheap Apple Watch copies use Glory Fit as the app. And when you install it, you can't actually set the watch up without installing this Glory Fit app, at least on your phone or somewhere. And Glory Fit says that in order to set it up, it needs access to your contacts, it needs access to all your pictures and videos, it needs access to everything. I denied it access, and it absolutely refused point blank to set up. So, all right, I thought I'll give it access, I'll set the watch up, and then I'll just take it off my machine. In the meantime, it'll have got all my pictures, but hey, there you go. And isn't that just absolutely nuts? If I'm out in the street and somebody asks me, excuse me, what time is it, please? I don't have to look at all their personal family photographs from the last 20 years. I don't need to look at all their email contacts. You know, the time is the time. You just don't need all that crap. So anyway, I'll do this. And then we move from British Standard Time into British Summer Time, daylight saving time. And saying, oh no, I'm now going to have to fit this app, aren't I, again, and give it permission to do everything again, just to change the time an hour. So I decided not to bother with that. I thought I'd get crafty, and I thought, you know what, I'm probably not the most massively intelligent person in the world, and you don't really have to be. I thought I'll just go ahead and leave it an hour slow or an hour fast. Can't remember quite which one it was. That's how intelligent I am. I thought I'd leave it an hour out. I'd know it was an hour out, and I'd know which hour it was when I looked at it. And so I just left it like that. And it lost about 4 minutes. And it's just any little trick to try and get you to put their app back into your phone and leave it there because it's a pain in the neck. Leave it there for next time. And all the time, they're getting your information and selling it. And I don't care too much about that in one way because I really haven't got anything to hide. I mean, as a youngster, a friend of mine got put in a juvenile detention centre, and I made the decision there and then that I was just going to avoid breaking the law because I never ever wanted to go to prison. There's other good reasons for not breaking the law, but as a young teenager, that was the thing that really appealed to me about living an honest life. Nothing whatsoever to hide, no interest in hiding anything. But why not have an expectation of privacy? It really shouldn't be too much to ask, and it's very quickly becoming far too much to ask, and it's not on. I mean, if I walked into your house without knocking or anything, I just opened the door, walked into your house and started watching you and you know, talking about criticising things and writing stuff down about where things are in your house, you'd phone the police, and you'd be quite right to. You know, you'd have to do something about that. In fact, phoning the police would be the nice thing to do. I think a lot of people would like knock my head off with a baseball bat or something, and that would be fair enough because we just have never had the right to just walk into each other's houses as simply as that. You know, you knock or you kind of make an appointment, so I'll come round at this time, is that okay? You get someone's permission, not because they're a mass murderer and you don't want to catch them at it, just because that's privacy, that's what we're all entitled to. And it's been taken away day by day. But anyway, back to the idea of X-Plane. There will be some X-Plane videos, so if you're into X-Plane, do hit the old subscribe button. I'm not looking for a lot of subscribers, and if you watch this video to the end, YouTube will actually recommend my next video to you, so I'm sure that'll be all right. But yeah, X-Plane stuff coming up. At the moment, I fly like a crab in elastic-sided boots. You know, I've kind of got to learn to do that a bit better. I did have a flying, well, I didn't have a flying lesson. My good friend Sammy had a flying lesson about a week and a half ago, something like that. And it was great to see, and I'm going to have one of those flying lessons. And you know, you sit there with an experienced, qualified flying instructor right next to you telling you exactly what to do. And you know that if something looks as if it's going to go badly wrong, the instructor will take over and land the plane. All dual control and everything. So I don't get any sense of terrible danger. It's actually one of the most relaxing things I've ever done. And Sammy absolutely loved it as well. I do have a video of that, but I don't have the flying instructor's permission to show him or, you know, even say what exactly which plane it is. It's a Piper Warrior 2, but you know, that's, I'm not going to say which Piper Warrior 2. So I've got to do quite a bit of editing on that video so that, you know, it's only the stuff that we're really allowed to show, and then I'll upload that. So that's coming up. X-Plane is coming up, and there'll be more on Weirdflation very soon, tomorrow in fact. This is number 4. Number 5 is going to be, well, find out tomorrow. Hey, thanks very much for watching. See you again. Love and peace.